Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. Let's talk about the day of your driving test. What do you expect on the day of your driving test? Now, this is the day why you have prepared yourself, you have learned to drive so that you go to the test and you pass. Because the only way you're going to have a license for you to drive by yourself without any help from anyone is to go to the test and for you to pass the test. So it doesn't matter how well you drive, how good a driver you are, you will have to go to the test. You'll have to prove it to the examiner that you can drive so that you pass and then you have a license for you to drive yourself. So let's talk about the day of your driving test. Okay, on the day, obviously, you are fully ready. You've done all the trainings you need and you know how to drive the car by yourself without any help from anyone. Your ultimate goal is for you to become a driver. Remember, test is just a between where you go and prove to the examiner that you can't drive. But your ultimate goal is for you to drive by yourself. That is what your goal, that is what you are trying to achieve. Because the last thing you need is go to the test and just pass by luck, just pass by fluke, but you don't have the confidence to drive by yourself. Your ultimate goal is for you to drive the car by yourself without any help from anyone. That is your ultimate goal. Okay, so by now, obviously, you know how to drive the car. You've done all the trainings you need. You've done all the maneuvers. You've done all the parkings. You went through all the questions, the show me, tell me questions. So you've done all that. And now you will be on your way going to the test center. So my advice on the day, just make sure you're ready. Be relaxed. Don't rush going to the test. Don't rush going to the lesson before the test. You just want your mind to be free. You don't want too many things in your head. Remember, test is a big thing. It's a big deal for you on the day. It's a big thing, okay? The last thing you want is to have something in your mind which is bothering you. You need to be free in your mind. Like I said earlier, just because you can't drive, it doesn't mean that you're just going to go and pass. Because if that was the case, everyone who goes to the test, they should all pass first time, shouldn't they? Because no one's going to go to the test unless they're fully ready. So they are ready, they go to the test. Why do they fail? It's because they do something silly on the day. It's because the day wasn't for them. It's because they weren't prepared mentally. So you want to make sure on the day, just before your test, before you go out of the door to go and start drive before your test, make sure that you are free in your mind. You don't have anything in your mind which is bothering you, which is bugging you. If there is something you need to do on the day, wait until after the test. At least for now, before the test and while you are doing the test, the last thing you want is anything else is bothering you. So whatever you have in your mind, whatever problem you have, leave it outside your test. Especially when you are driving for your test, leave the problem outside your car. Don't bring the problem in the car, because in the car you are focusing totally, fully for the driving you need to do for your test. Because remember, you're going to be a little nervous, and that's normal. We are human, and before we do something big, especially something we really need in our life, like the driving license, we're going to be nervous, because the last thing we want is to fail. And because of that thought, our mind is going to play games. And because of that, you're going to feel nervous, we're going to be anxious, and every small problem is going to seem as if it's a big problem. It's going to look like as if I've done something wrong. So now on the day, just be relaxed. Any problem you have, just leave it and you could deal with it after your test. Okay? And obviously, I've said on my earlier videos is that just before the test on the day, wake up. If it's early in the morning or whenever the test is, just go for a walk, have a shower, have something to eat, gives you the energy, all that thing you've done. And then I would go and drive for an hour before the test, just to warm up, just brush on things, especially the things that you are weak on. Maybe you feel that there's something you need to work on that thing. If I were you, I would do that. And I'm sure you are going with your driving instructor. If not, you could go with your family member. Remember, you don't have to go with your driving instructor. You could go with your family member, as long as the car is prepared for the test, as long as the person who's sitting next to you is legally okay to go with you, meaning they're over 21, they have held a driving license for over 3 years and all that. So look up what they need. If you are taking someone other than the driving instructor, make sure they're legally okay and make sure they sit next to you. If not, I'm sure you are going with the driving instructor. So the instructor will come on time, maybe an hour before or hour and a half, and go for a drive. If there's something bothering you about your driving, make sure you let your instructor know and let them help you on that. So maybe they will ask you to work on that a little bit more, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes on that subject that you are feeling weak on. So let your instructor know if there's something you want to work on the day before the test, and just go and drive. I'll drive in everything. General drive on junctions, roundabouts, crossroads, work on the parkings, the maneuvers, all four. You're only going to get one out of the four, but work on all four. Do the emergency stop just as a reminder, and go through the questions, the show me tell me questions, so you are aware just as a reminder just before the test. If you are learning and you need help on learning and passing the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course. The course gives everything a learner needs to learn to drive and to pass the driving test. It has everything a learner needs. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read, and if you like it, you could always join the course. And then you're going to go into the test center, park your car facing out, so it'll be easier for you to get out. If you go with a family member, sometimes what they do is they go into the bay facing in, and then when you start your driving for the test, you have to reverse out. So make sure if you go with your family member, your car is facing out. So reverse into the bay in the test center so that your car is facing out, not facing in. Obviously, if you go with the driving instructor, they will ask you to reverse in. Then you're going to go into the test center in the waiting area, and you're going to wait. And while you are waiting, this is where the problem is, because it probably will be 4 or 5 minutes you are waiting in the test center. That 5 minutes is going to seem as if it's 5 years, because you know the exam will come out, my test is going to start, your hand is going to start shaking, your legs are going to start shaking, you're going to be nervous. So that 5 minutes, just try to be as much as you can, be relaxed. Don't think of the test too much, okay? It's not the end of the world. You're going to go and you're going to do as normal. It's your test, it's your money, it's your time. If something happens in the test, nothing going to happen. You're still going to go home, do the things you normally do. Nothing going to happen. It only means if you fail, you're just going to delay to get another test. So don't think like if you fail, it's going to be end of the world. You want to think like that, so that way you're going to be motivated. You're going to worry less, because the more you think about the test, more you think that you have to pass. If you don't, I'm going to have problem getting another test date. I haven't got the money, I haven't got the time, and all those things are going to come in your mind, and because of that, you're going to feel more nervous. You don't think any of that, okay? Because if you give your 100%, you shouldn't fail, right? So all those problems you are thinking, I can't get another test date, I haven't got the money, I haven't got the time, all those things you are thinking is negative. Who said you're going to fail? If you pass, no problems with those things that you are thinking. If you pass, you don't have to wait for another test. So all you have to do is think positive, go and pass. So while you are waiting, don't think of the negative too much, because those things are going to come in your mind. You're not going to think of any positive, because that's the way it is. That's where how humans are. When we want something badly, there's something important we want, we always think of the negative things because we want that. And because we want it so bad, we are only thinking the negative things. So don't think of the negative. Just wait for 5 minutes until the examiner comes out and calls your name, and be relaxed as much as you can. Little nervous is good. Everyone gets nervous. Even myself, when I go and do my check test every now and again. Remember, we driving instructors, we have to do a check test every so often. So every few years, we have to go and do a check test, making sure we are okay as a driving instructor. And when I do that, even I am a little nervous. Not that I am nervous as if I'm going to fail, but a little nervous is normal. It's healthy because it makes you think better. Little nervous is good, makes you think better. It doesn't mean you should be overthinking. You should be over nervous, because that's what the problem is. You don't want to cross the line. So little nervous is okay. Think little bit, but don't think too deep. Don't think too negative about the test. Okay? So while you're waiting, examiner comes out, call your name, and ask you to give your driving license. So make sure on the way going to the test center, make sure you've taken your driving license with you, the photo card ID driving license, okay? They call your name, and they're going to ask you to give them your driving license. You give them the driving license, they're going to ask you to read and sign. You sign it, and then the examiner is going to ask you, do you want an instructor with you, or the person with you, maybe a family member, do you want them to go with you in the test? It is your choice. You make the decision, okay? So the examiner will ask you, do you want your instructor to go with you? If you say yes, go and sit at the back. Not helping, just sitting at the back. If you say no, they won't. So if you want, say yes. If you don't, say no. Then the examiner is going to say, show me your way out to your car. So you go out, go to the car park and say, this is my car over there. You just point your finger and say, that's my car over there. Done. The next thing the examiner will ask you, so the next thing the examiner is going to ask you to read a number plate. Remember, reading a number plate is part of your test. If you can't read a number plate from certain distance, 20 meters, you will fail your test. You won't be able to go into the car. So the first thing is read a number plate from certain distance. So the examiner will ask, can you stand here please? And they will point a finger and say, that car over there, the red car in the middle or the blue car in the middle or on the right, on the left, can you read the number plate? And hopefully you can. So if you need glasses, if you wear glasses or contact lenses, make sure you wear on the day, because if you can't read, like I said, done. You can't go into the car, you will fail for eyesight. Done. Then before you go into the car, they might ask you a question, show me, tell me. They might say, can you open the bonnet? So a question could be before you go into the car, or both could be once you go into the car, one or the other. Okay, so be ready for the question. If they say open the bonnet, you open the bonnet, and they might ask you, can you show me where some things are? And then you show. Make sure you close it properly. Go in, take your seat, put your seatbelt on. Make sure, don't forget to put the seatbelt on. So go into the car, make sure you're comfortable. I hope you haven't moved anything, because when you came into the car park, you've been driving for an hour, your seat should be okay. You shouldn't need to adjust anything because you've already done it. So hopefully your seat is okay. If not, for any reason, make sure you adjust it, make sure it's okay, make sure you're comfortable, your sitting position, put your seatbelt on. You don't want to drive without the seatbelt, you will fail for that, because it's by law, you have to put the seatbelt on. So go in, take your seat, put your seatbelt on and wait. Examiner comes in, and like I said, if they haven't already, they will ask you a question, show me, tell me. And then the next question, the second question will be while you are driving, because they want to check, can you do some things while you are driving? Maybe they will say that, can you put the wiper on while you are driving? Can you put the back wiper on? Can you open my window? Can you open your window? And you should do that without losing the control of your car. If you lose the control, you will fail. So one question while you are in the car before the test, as you are starting the test, or before you come in, and next one will be while you are driving, to check if you could do it, keeping the car under control. Okay, so then after the question, they're just going to give you a brief about the test. The test is going to last around 38 to 40 minutes. I'm going to give you 20 minutes of independent driving, either with a sat nav or verbally, and then I'm going to give you the direction. Unless I give you, you follow the road the way the road is going. I'm going to ask you to do one parking in the test, and that will be the test. And then the examiner will say, when you're ready, can you start the car please, and drive out of the gate, go left or go right, whichever way. Done. They've given you the direction. Then all you do is start the car nicely, make sure the car is secured, start the car, take a deep breath. This is the moment, okay? It's only 40 minutes. You've been driving with your driving instructor for hours, maybe hour at a time or 2 hours at a time. And now you just have to drive for 40 minutes. That's all you have to do. If you are learning and you need help on learning and passing the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course. The course gives everything a learner needs to learn to drive and to pass the driving test. It has everything a learner needs. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read, and if you like it, you could always join the course. Okay, and the first 5 minutes. So if I were you, I would give 110% on my first 5 minutes. If something goes wrong in that 5 minutes, the whole test is going to be too long, because it's going to bother you in your mind. So you want to give 110% in your first 5 minutes. If the first 5 minutes goes well, most likely you are going to be in full confidence. You're going to be inspired. You're going to be motivated because you know you've done good. It's going well. So give 100% in the first 5 minutes. Make sure everything goes okay in the first 5 minutes. If something goes wrong in that 5 minutes, or something you've done you're not happy with, don't give up, because this is where the problem is. Because if you think you've done something, and if you think that, oh, that could be fail, you will give up and you will fail for something after. Maybe you haven't failed for that. How do you know? So say you've done something and you're not happy with. It is not your job to make that call that you failed. You don't know that. That's not your job, is it? What is your job? Your job is to drive. Examiner's job is to make the decision whether you passed or you failed. They're the examiner, not you. So you have been given to do 40 minutes driving. That is your job. At the end, whether you passed or you failed, you'll get to know. So if I were you, I wouldn't just give up because I think I've done something bad. How do you know? Let me give you an example. If you ask me now that the examiner asked me to stop somewhere safe on the left, pull up on the left, I did, and I hit the pavement. What does that mean? If you ask me, I would say it could be fail. That could be a fail, right? Because you've hit the pavement, right? But what if you did hit the pavement? Should you give up? You as a learner on the test, if you pull up on the left because the examiner said, and you've hit the pavement, you've touched the pavement, should you assume it's a fail? Remember, touching the pavement when you stop or when you pull up, it is not an automatic fail. I've had many learners in the test, they've touched the pavement, they've hit the pavement, and they still pass the test. Because touching the pavement is not an automatic fail. It's not like going through red light. It's not like breaking the law, going through 40 instead of 30. There are many things, it is not an automatic fail. It could be counted as a mistake, a minor fault. Okay? So instead of you thinking, is that a fail or not, that's not your job, is it? What is your job? Just drive. Let the examiner decide at the end. If you fail, you fail, no problem. Book the test again, come back and do the test. That kind of mentality you need to pass on the day. Okay? You have to let go, loosen up a bit, and don't think too much about the test. Whatever happens, it happens. You just do your driving, do the 40 minutes of driving. At the end, let the examiner decide what happens. Okay? So you give the first 5 minutes as much as you can, give 100%. Hopefully it's going to go okay. If it doesn't, like I said, don't give up. And then just follow the sat nav or follow the direction of the examiner. Okay? They're going to ask you to go next road on the left, next road on the right, roundabout, second straight, second on the right, fourth on the right, first on the left, crossroad coming up, go straight on. Just make sure you stay relaxed, look well ahead, read the road, see what's happening, and drive like you have been driving with the driving instructor. Try not to do anything different on the day. Sometimes what happens is many learners, they think that the test cannot be the way I've been driving all that time. It has to be something different. It's not different. It's the way you've been driving, that's the way you're driving the test. Don't do anything other than what you know, because you can't do anything other than what you know. You can't do any magic. And if you try that, then you probably will fail because you are doing something which you don't know. So only drive the way you know. You've been driving, you've been approved by your driving instructor. He or she said you're ready. That's the reason why you are going. So why drive anything other than what you know? Drive the way you know. Drive the way you've been driving with the driving instructor. Take all the advice they've given you. Go to the test and do exactly. Don't do anything different. Okay? And every now and again, just take a deep breath. Okay? I always say that taking deep breath in between, it recharges you, gives you the restart again. Especially when you go wait on a traffic light or on a junction where you have to wait for other cars. Just do that. Why? It relaxes you. It makes you think calm. It recharges you. Okay? So every now and again, just take a deep breath when you're driving. Okay? And one other thing is that don't let the examiner bother you. Remember, it's not about us and them. It's not about you and the examiner. It's not a war going on, as if we go to a war and somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. The examiner is doing a job. They're not here to fail you. They're here to see and assess how you drive and are you safe on the road. Remember, one question goes in the mind of the examiner, and that is, the person sitting next to me who's doing the test, are they safe on the road? If they're not safe, they're not going to give you the license, are they? Well, they shouldn't, should they? If you're not safe, should you be on the road? That's the question I'm asking you. Forget the examiner. I'm asking you. If you're not safe on the road, and if you can't prove it to the examiner that you're safe, do you think you should have a license? Because remember, when you are driving, it is not just about your life. It is your life and you are risking the life of others. You have to keep yourself safe as well as others. People needs to be safe on the road from your end, okay? The examiner doesn't feel that, they're not going to give you a license, are they? This car that you are driving doesn't have a mind on its own. The way you drive, that's the way the car is going to go. If you steer left, the car is going to go left. If you steer right, car is going to go right. You're in control. You're the boss. If you can't prove that you are fully in control of this vehicle, this piece of metal, then you're not going to get a license. For you to get a license, you have to prove that this piece of metal, this four-wheel car, you could control it. Because otherwise, you're not safe on the road. So the examiner, they're not your enemy, okay? They might not talk. They probably have a face that looks intimidated, but that's, they have a job to do. Don't let that bother you. If they talk to you, if they have a smiley face, bonus. It's a bonus for you. If they don't allow that to fail you, okay? They are doing a job. They're getting paid to do a job. They're making sure that the person I am sitting next to, they are safe on the road. That is what they're trying to do. That is their job. Let them do that, and you do your job. What is your job? Is to drive safely on the road. Prove to the examiner I am safe. I'm safe on the road. I could drive safely. And at the end, you should pass, okay? So you're going to do that for 40 minutes. And then at the end, you're going to come back to the test center. And then the examiner will tell you whether you passed or you failed. And hopefully, the examiner will say, congratulations, you have passed your test. So that's the test. If you need extra help on Learn to Drive and to pass the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course, which gives everything a learner needs. The course has everything a learner needs for you to learn and for you to pass the driving test. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read. If you like it, you could always join the course. I hope the video helps, and I truly wish you all the best for your driving test. I hope it helps. If it does, please do give a thumbs up. Please do make a comment what you think of the video, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.